Hey guys, how's it going? We're back today on the channel with another episode of our Sporting Save on FM21. It's episode 19 now, and we've just gone through our pre-season ahead of the third year in charge. We've got an FA Cup game, going to go through all the transfers, tactical changes, loads to go through. See you over there. Right guys, here we are. First of all, big long pre-season again, a bit like last time. I don't know if it's just something that that's a bit buggy about the game because of a delayed start, I think, in the first season because of to reflect the COVID situation in real life. The other leagues seem to be back to normal, but we seem to still not be starting until October. So it's been a big old long slog really of a pre-season. You can see how many games there have been. What you can also see is lots and lots and lots of wins. Okay, there's been a mixture of teams, lots of teams below us or at a similar sort of level. But we've also got results against, a 0-0 against Altrincham. We beat Barnet handily. Aldershot beat Yeovil. Hales Owen, Stourbridge, some local ones. Where was the other? Yeah, Coventry we beat. Derby's under-23s we beat. So there's some really good results in there. Now, we didn't know what to do last year at several stages with the tactics. They sort of seemed to come good and then go bad and really inconsistent. I've completely revamped it, and I've had to do that because we had 17 plus, I think, players leave. It's one of those where the financial situation with the club doesn't help. We'll go into that in a second, but couldn't agree contracts, or they wanted loads of money, or they wanted more play, whatever, all sorts of things. Couldn't agree with them. Wasn't going to break the bank. So the majority of the squad moved on. So over the summer we've been, and autumn I suppose, we've been rebuilding. I'm still looking now. There's no transfer window down here, so we can keep improving the squad. But where we're at the minute, I'm pretty happy, and we'll just look to improve when the right opportunities come. But as you can see, to be fair, it's going really well. I'm not going to go into all the results, but just picked out a couple of the highlights: Coventry, Derby, Aldershot, Altrincham, Barnet, handily beating these sides. Now the loss against Sutton Coldfield was a really weird one because it's one of the most dominant games we played. Loads of shots, just couldn't find the back of the net, and they sort of, I don't know, sucker punched us a couple of times. I think they had the two shots and they scored them both. Not really much to worry about. And then just a couple of draws. Hales Owen and Altrincham being the last one. Messed around with the squad a bunch. It's obviously been a constant rotation. Transfers. I think all of those went before last time. Yeah, so here we go. So Keaton Wood left, Welch, Charlie Horton. Weren't too bothered by these two. Wood was a bit of a blow, but he just wanted too much money. Edson Pratt has gone out. Adam Hughes has gone, which was disappointing because he was our target from set pieces, which has ceased to become a problem. I don't know who Ruben Rodgers or Bradbury are, but Strizovic went. He was playing second fiddle goalkeeper anyway. Landell we let go, was just never gonna get any more time. And there's some more anyway. Let's look at what we got in. So I don't know, I can't remember which ones we got. I think you know about Ben Wood's Elliot Day. So here we go. So Luke Barlow's come in as a sort of left back / centre back, can do both jobs. Philip Wilson's going to come in and play second fiddle to Cowley, but he does offer us a different option. He's a bit of a target man. Not amazing, but he's strong. Great heading ability. And to be fair, we've played him a few times in friendlies and he started really well. Bailey Gouda. Now, I think this is a weird one because I'm sure that this guy plays for Woodthorpe Park in Scott's save, or Scott signed him like a legal two below. He's not brilliant, but to be fair, he's come in and he has done really well. He scored 3 goals, got 3 assists. Seems to be, doesn't have great stats, but seems to be a real handful at corners. And we've found a couple of other centre halves since then that I think are better, but I think he can do us a job in midfield. Obviously, he can play defensive midfield, and I think he can fit in there because it's the only position that I haven't got. It's one midfield role that I don't really have much depth in, so I didn't want to push Bailey Gouda out because we'd not long signed him, and he's done well for us despite not being fantastic. So I'm gonna try that around there. Sam Leavesley is a sort of backup centre back really. He's young, non-contract, so no impact on the wages. which is actually a theme. There's a lot of these players that I've signed that I'm really pleased with that are on non-contract, so it's not costing us much money. So actually we're well under budget despite the wage budget staying the same. We've cleared out all of those players, or they've gone, not sort of giving in to those excessive demands. And I think we've signed comparable, if not better, players on non-contract. So hopefully that can help the club's financial situation a little bit, because that is getting worse and worse. Julius Ndine, he's probably going to be our starting centre back. Only 19, looks pretty good. Was at Stokes, in Stokes, academy or whatever. Harry Birtwistle, I think that's how you pronounce it. He's our first international, I think. He's Singaporean. He was called up to the squad at some point during the pre-season, so he was away for about a week there. I don't think he played, but technically terrible, but very quick for the level, pretty athletic. So that's essentially why he's there, and we needed some sort of competition for his way, and actually he's come in and done really well so far. So that's a bit of a novelty as well with the international call-up. Charlie Finney is very recent, as you can see, 4th of September. He's only been with us about a month, hasn't played that much. Just to add some depth in the midfield, I'm playing with 3 centre midfielders at the moment, so we needed a little bit extra there. And to be fair, he looks technically really good for the level. He's got everything you need in that sort of deep line playmaker. He's probably not going to play that role for us, but we're using some attacking centre midfielders, and I think he's got it. His long shots, his pace aren't great, but he's really good on the ball, so I think he can do a good job for us there. And then Will Forrester is the most recent, another centre back. Again, heading, tackling, all the basic things you need, because we're not going to be asking these guys to be doing, a technical job. I don't want much from them. I just need them to head the ball, tackle, get the ball to the better players. So I'm pretty happy with that business. There are more players, but I feel like there are more players. I don't know if they are included or anyway. You'll see. So we've actually got a decent sized squad. The only thing that I'm really looking for specifically now, unless there's like a really good player available, as I said, is a backup goalkeeper. We've not been able to find that. It's a really tough position to fill at this level, because they're probably not going to play, and because Oscar Kelly's pretty good and he's only 19, it's sort of bringing in another 19-year-old, and it doesn't make too much sense. And I don't want to just get someone rubbish to sit there, because if they do need to play, they need to be good enough. So still looking out for that, and we'll find someone eventually, because I don't want to have to draft someone in from the youth team, because it, as you can imagine at this level, there's not a lot there. Financially, as I said, it is getting worse pretty rapidly. 207,000 in the doldrums now, but we're only using 3,368 of our 3,623 budget, which has only gone up recently because a couple of players, because we had that leeway, managed to sign a couple of players that did want a small wage. So, but I feel pretty good. I think we have more options this time, much better depth, sort of larger squad. I suppose the only sad thing, Elliot Day was one of my sort of hopeful centre backs. I think because of this extended pre-season, and this is what makes me think it's a bit buggy, complaining to me about lack of playing time and wants to leave. It's only pre-season and he's played a fair bit, but I didn't want to mess around with it at this level. No one, I don't think, is going to stick around really long enough for it to matter. So he'll be on his way out, pretty shortly, I think. So anyway, financially, that ties into the first game of the season, which we have now. Starting off with the FA Cup qualifying round again, second qualifying round. Sorry, we've got Mangotsfield. They're from a lower division. We need a result because we need to have a run in this competition. I think this season, because those finances are just getting worse and worse and worse. There's obviously positives in terms of, where are we? Attendances. So the average attendance, doubled last season, which is great. I don't think it'll double again. We're in the same league, but hopefully if we can be up sort of challenging like we were for playoffs like last season, I think we've got a better squad. We'll see once we get going, but I think we've got a better squad. So hopefully we can build on that. From the club's point of view, they just want us to avoid relegation again. Avoid relegation, third qualifying round, be competitive. So I don't have any issue with beating all of that. The issue is this one here, because it's one of the required and it's repair the club's financial damage. But I don't really know what I can do. I'm under budget. I've got no way of generating funds here. So all we can do, play well, attract the crowds, and we have to have those good cup competitions, because otherwise I think this might become a problem. So we'll see. Let's see what we can do. Actually, whilst we're here, I do want to try and get a senior affiliate. They very rarely give you one at this level, but even a little bit of money there would help, just to stave off the debtors from coming in and flicking the lights off. Anyway, tactically, as I said, it's been a bit of an overhaul, because we stuck with a similar sort of structure over the first 2 years, and it served us well. But I think it was time to go. We've gone with this. It's not something I've played before. And it actually started off as a sort of more defensive tactic, pack the midfield, one up front. And then I sort of I wanted to play with it, and I didn't want to leave the centre forward isolated even when we're defending. So rather than going the traditional, get the ball wide, going down the flanks with the attacking players, we're actually using 2 attacking centre midfielders to get forward, and the wingers to stay a little bit deeper. That's not to say they don't get involved, but we're putting early crosses into the box, and we are catching teams out. Hopefully it translates into the full season, but as you saw, we play teams lower, similar level and higher. We're not conceding many goals, and we are scoring plenty. So this has been working pretty well so far. We've got a couple under our belt. I haven't used this too much. This is a slightly it's going to be similar but more defensive. We're just going to withdraw that third midfielder into the defensive role just to see games out. And we've used this a few times as well. This is where we need to go a little bit more, not gung-ho, but we need to change it a bit, go a bit more direct. 2 up front. We've got the players to do it in Cowley and Wilson, as you saw, and a couple of backups as well. And that's worked really well against some of the lower sides as well. So we can switch to that. We're going to go with our standard today. In this FA Cup game, it's a really big one to start with, but I would expect a result. I'm going to sort the team out now, guys, and I'll see you in just a sec. Right, guys, this is the side. Kelly in goal, Bert Whistle, Barlow as the fullbacks, and Dine and Forrester as the centre halves. That seems to be the best partnership so far. We've got Kachosa on the right, Callaghan on the left, both familiar from last season, but they do seem to have kicked on. Kachosa especially. Is coming good. Moulders and Woods have been absolute stars, especially Woods arriving late in the box and scoring goals in pre-season. And as I said, I've got Bailey Gouda doing that ball-winning midfielder role, which, to be fair, Nathan Hayward is still with us and stunning in real life as well at the moment. Has been doing really well in that role. But in terms of taking a step up, I'm going to try Bailey there and see if we can sort of convert him a little bit. And then, of course, Cowley up front as the pressing forward. I've hidden them from the list, but I've still got heaps of players on trial, and I'm going to keep doing that. It's a cheaper way of scouting, and it does mean we have found a couple of gems in there that we've signed, so we can keep improving the squad. But as I say, this is what we go for. Set piece has been really good for us as well. We are keeping the ball a little bit more, not playing quite as direct, but we still like to get the ball forward quickly. Set pieces, as I just mentioned, we've been really strong from. We're going through the middle, we're floating those crosses in. Even though it's just Cowley there, floating them in, putting them in early, it just gives those midfielders a bit of time to make those late runs into the box. And then we are set up to obviously counter. And we're pretty standard here. Nothing. We're not pressing overly. We are set up to obviously press and win the ball back, but I'm not going mad. And it all seems quite balanced at the minute. So I don't want to mess with it too much. It seems to just be working. Famous last words, eh? Here we go then, guys. It's a bit of a shame that the first game has to be an FA Cup game in a way. It's so important, as you saw financially. There's a bit of pressure on it, and first competitive game with the new tactics, and the squad is still sort of gelling. And I'm happy with the squad. With the squad I've picked for the match day. I think that's the best. But there are still a couple of players that are, only been with us a few weeks and may work their way in. And I prefer going into the first game of the season, or at least the first FA Cup game, with the importance on it, knowing what my best 11 is. At the same time, it's a kind draw. We should be winning it. Hopefully, let's get the season off to a good start. Here we go. It's going to be the opening highlight, I think, isn't it? Just knocking it around. I've been trying the last couple of friendlies to keep the squad a little bit more settled. Obviously, I've had to change things to try and get everyone as fit as possible, but I've tried to get this being the team that, bar 1 or 2 changes, is the one that's gone through the last sort of 2 or 3. So hopefully that pays off. First 10 minutes, nothing to report. Just the one shot, and it's from us, and it's off target. Sorry. Passes are better. They've picked up a yellow card, so we're doing okay. Here we go. From the corner, Woods to take. front post for Forrester. There it is. Tweak the corners a little bit, not too much though, but just messing with things just a bit throughout pre-season. And I think we've just got a slightly better quality in terms of attacking the ball in the box and the delivery as well, because we've not changed it drastically, but we do seem to be finding a lot of goals from corners and free kicks and things like that. So Will Forrester gets us off to a great start, first real highlight, and we're in front. Not much to say really, is there? Because you've not actually seen any open play. It's just been the corner. But if we just have highlights where we take corners and score at this stage in the game, I'm not too bothered. Burt Whistle throw. Mulders cuts back for Woods. Oh, I thought he'd scored. How did he not? It looked easier to get that on target. It's a bit of a disappointment, that is. Woods over the free kick. It's a bit central. He's had a go anyway. Look at the swerve on that, and it's come back out, and it's a throw in. So we've been dangerous, all set pieces of some form so far, but we have threatened the goal, so that's good. And they look like they're struggling for fitness already. So hopefully that'll tell in the second half, and we'll really dominate. They've not had a single shot yet. We've had more possession, so we are controlling the game nicely. I'd just like to get that second goal, and I think we can probably relax just a little bit then. Looks like this is just going to dwindle out to half time, which I'm happy to let it do. I don't think there's any need to push this. We're obviously controlling the game. 8 shots, 5 on target. It's a shame we haven't seen a couple more of them. But into half time, a little bit dull, but they've literally not had any sort of effort or attacking play at all. So we've absolutely dominated. Just need to translate that into chances and goals. So there is some room for improvement there. No changes necessary, I don't think, guys. Straight into the second half. Carry on as we go. We'll get another goal or two and just sort of go through a canter, hopefully. They've got the ball coming down this wing though. Fizzed it across and it's cut out, and that'll be that. Been out seeing a lot of people. Every time I go to talk, it's a highlight now, and it's to them as well. Can we nick it and just sort of hit him on the break and really cut through them? Poor ball forward by them. Gouda mops up, stepping into that reserved role. Mulders through to Callaghan. And back, keeping the ball well, being patient. Barlow with a great ball to Woods, through to Cowley, who surely, no, it's a good save. And out for another corner, but that's first bit of play we've got. You had Gouda step back, which where I think being a centre half might help him step into that role and cut those through balls out. Woods into Callaghan here. Can he deliver? He can to Kachosa, just over as well. Oh, close, but we're threatening. Kachosa actually scored a few headers at that back post like that. Oh, here they are. They're in. Bit of a mix-up in the defence, but no threat really from the effort. Kachosa, because obviously he's 6'5", is weirdly tall for a winger, and he has propped up with a couple of headers at the back stick there. So that's a little outlet for us. Here he is. Physicality is good. Crosses well for Cowley, off the bar and cleared. We are knocking on the door, aren't we? We are knocking, and we are battering them, to be fair. 13-7. So we need to find that second goal. That's my only little bit of disappointment here, is that we haven't dominated the scoreline as well as the play on the pitch. It's with their keeper. Hopefully it comes straight back to him. Good header, and Burt Whistle heads it out. No, McCall keeps it on and plays in behind. Brought down by Hurst. Good block, and Gouda clears. See, just these little nervous times creeping in. Anyway, I've seen a bunch of videos, obviously, with people doing their reveals for their FM22 beta series. I don't think I'm going to do anything like that. Most of the guys have a much bigger following on the channel. But I am thinking about what to do as a beta save, and it's a tough one because I don't want to start a beta save and then I've not have enough time to play it within those sort of 2 weeks or so and actually go anywhere with it. It's a similar feeling I've got to this save, is that obviously it's a long-term save, but I'm running out of time. But we knew that when we started it. This was very much like a tester for the channel to get used to things for FM22. So I'm having to think about some sort of short-term saves, and I have got some ideas about some of the series we're going to do on the channel. Back to the game here. We've got Kachosa, who isn't having a great game, but we don't have too many options on the bench. I've not picked this bench very well, to be fair. Callaghan's struggling, and that's okay because Rashid can come on and do a similar job. And I don't think we need to change too much. We are dominating the game. I just need to find that second goal to be really comfortable. So we're into the closing minutes. Barlow's throw into Rashid. Comes away. Can Mulder sort anything? Comes back and it's rather pumped forward a little bit. And they're in here. Rubbish finish. They've been let off a couple of times, which is a bit worrying. We've not played particularly well, especially in this second half. And to be fair, I maybe have just let it run a little bit more than I would like. But it looks like we're going to have the quality just to see out the 1-0, which into Cowley here from the throw. No, McCall gets there. And that's the final whistle. So, as per tradition on the channel, the game we've put on hasn't been particularly interesting, but we have dominated it really. They actually finished with more possession, which doesn't really surprise me because every highlight in the second half was them knocking the ball about and getting forward and not really making anything of it. And perhaps we should have been a little bit more aggressive and switched to something, but it doesn't matter. Stat-wise, really, we have dominated the game apart from possession, and it should have been more. We did have chances. Reasonable, balanced, never in too much doubt. And the main thing is we've won and we've got through. It's a couple of grand in the account, and it means we're obviously more importantly on through to the next round. Going back to FM22, as I say, I've got some ideas about what to do for a beta save, and then beyond that, my worry is getting sucked into a beta save and wanting to keep it going and not having enough time to juggle everything. So it might be a little bit of a see how it goes, but we'll announce something in the next few weeks. There's plenty of time about what we're gonna do for that. So anyway, with that, guys, when we've gone through all of the pre-season stuff, you've seen the tactics, you've seen a little bit about what they're about, and hopefully the game's improved from that. I am going to crack on through the season a little bit quicker, I think, from now on, because being a long-term save, I do want to get going with it and sort of power on through the seasons. It has, in fairness, I think Scott will probably agree and is thinking a similar way. It's been a learning experience on us for the channel, these first series for us. So we've obviously wanted to get used to the recording and the editing and all of that sort of stuff, which we're still figuring out. But I think we want to see more of the game now. So we'll plough through and hopefully have another episode for you in a couple of days' time. Otherwise, hopefully you've enjoyed it. Give us a like, subscribe, socials, blah 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 blah. You all know by now what to do on these channels if you enjoy it. It'd be great to see a few more comments and things like that. And otherwise, we'll see you next time, guys. So cheers.